Alright, everyone, so thank goodness for Joe Biden. Maybe, if we're lucky, maybe, if Biden and his crew deem it appropriate, we might be allowed to have a barbecue in our backyards with family and friends for Independence Day. I just love it. 4th of July, Independence Day, the day where we remind ourselves that we're free and we have liberty, and here we are talking about if we're free to celebrate the day where we remind ourselves that we're free. Well, I think that kind of says something about the state of freedom in the U.S., doesn't it? It doesn't exist. You need to be given permission to have a meal with your family or friends in your backyard, probably, outside in the fresh air where COVID has repeatedly been shown to not spread very well, and not for nothing outside during the summer where it's sunny, where if you remember from last year, it was shown that COVID doesn't do well in sunlight. And even if it does, that still is not nearly enough of an excuse to have to put up with this authoritarian strong-arming of the government, which that is what this is. I don't care if you're pro-lockdown or not. One thing that is inarguable is that this is authoritarianism pure and simple. If you are pro-lockdown, or if you're for government-issued barbecue license, I guess we can call it that, then okay, state your case, but understand that you're on the side of the authoritarians. And by the way, why grant so much power to the government anyway? What are you arguing for them to be able to do? To keep us all safe? To keep everyone safe from what? A disease that 6% of people who die from it had comorbidities? 78% of people who are hospitalized or die from it are overweight or obese. The vast majority of people who are hospitalized have vitamin D deficiencies. So you want to keep them out of the sun come 4th of July? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But here's Biden again saying they should become more authoritarian and have more authority over us when there's a multitude of things that people who are fearful of COVID can do that would drastically reduce the probability that COVID ever becomes any sort of problem in their life, even if they do catch it. You can lose weight. You can work out, become healthier, eat right. That will give a massive boost to your immune system. And that seems to be a huge factor in whether or not COVID becomes serious or fatal to you. You can take vitamins, specifically vitamin D, deficiencies of which, as I mentioned, seem to be very common among those who have complications with COVID. And if you can't or don't want to do any of those things, because you just can't be bothered to put forth that effort, so you just want government to control everyone around you on your behalf, if you refuse to do those things for yourself, you can still wear a mask and a face shield and wear gloves every time you go out, and wear nothing but white so you can wash them with bleach and hot water when you get home, and disinfect your hands every time you walk in from outside, and don't touch your face. That's another big one, not just with COVID, but sicknesses in general. Don't touch your face. You can then eat what you want, sit on your couch all day, never work out, never eat right, be as unhealthy as you want, and push your immune system down into the gutter as far as you want. And with just those things I mentioned, mask, face shield, gloves, bleach, disinfecting, not touching your face, it doesn't matter if others are not social distancing or wearing a mask. You can just get that face shield on, get those gloves on, or buy one of those little upside-down fish bowls you can put on your head that attach to your shirt. Then it doesn't matter what others are doing. You can continue your unhealthy lifestyle and not have a care in the world about COVID. But no, you can't even be brought to doing that. You can't even be brought to taking care of yourself or looking after yourself, because here is the real big issue. The average American has this completely backwards. We can sit around all day and complain about governors and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and that's all well and good, and that's totally appropriate. But the other group that deserves massive amounts of condemnation are, frankly, pitiful American citizens that scream for authoritarianism so they don't have to do a damn thing for themselves. And I don't say this as an insult, I say this as something that is obvious. They are pathetic. You see, if we were having a debate about authoritarianism, despite the fact that I would oppose authoritarianism every step of the way, the person who is more pro-authoritarian would do better in a debate if we were discussing something that people could do nothing about on a personal level. If people truly were completely helpless, or even if whatever they might be able to do was prohibitively expensive, they might have a better shot of being taken seriously during that debate by rational people. But that isn't even the case here. The amount that can be done within your own personal life and the choices you can make that will astronomically decrease the probability that COVID will ever have an effect in your life, the amount of things you can do to put yourself more so in that type of situation are innumerable. They're nearly unending. There are tons of things you can do on a personal level, but people don't want to hear it. They just want to be taken care of. Unfortunately, People's authoritarian reflex is lightning fast, whereas their calm, rational, logical reflexes are as slow as a turtle in molasses. And they are the reason why a barbecue you may or may not be able to have 4 months from now is being put into question by the President of the United States. They should be ashamed of themselves, and you can do a lot to help me reach them by liking, subscribing, and sharing this video with anyone you can. It's a massive help and extremely appreciated. You all take it easy now.